How's it going, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Thursday, April 4th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Hope you guys are doing amazing. It's good to be here with all of you. Thank you for all the birthday wishes yesterday and today. My solar return was yesterday at 6:49 a.m., and I was born April 4th, so it's weird. The calendar system is very funky, so who knows? Some years my birthday's on the 3rd, some years mine's on the 4th. So, I mean, if you're looking at your solar return every year, I'm sure that a lot of you notice that your birthday isn't always on your birthday, right? So, I just want to mention that my reading sale opened up yesterday on my website for the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that we'll be having April 21st, that will be activated in May by Venus, Mercury, and the Sun. So this will be open all through May and June. Make sure to get your spot now, because I think as of yesterday, the second week of May is booked through. So this will be going through June. So it'll be open until then. So anyways, this moon in Aquarius is really wanting to connect today. And, it's kind of, it's going to make a nice sextile to the sun. So there could be some nice energy between the moon and the sun wanting to really connect on a deep level. And I think karmically, we could start to really connect the pieces in a whole unique and different way. And we can feel a little detached, but at the same time, I think if we want to really get shit done and make shit happen today and really get to the goods of what today's all about, I think we kind of have to detach. This Venus-Neptune conjunction was amazing yesterday. I'm still fucking tired from it, because it's definitely sleepy. This Venus is at 29 degrees. The 29 degrees of Pisces is the hardest, most worn out, most tired degree of the entire zodiac before we restart in Aries. And Venus is about to come into Aries tomorrow, going into the weekend, which is going to recharge and reset this Venus cycle here and bring this whole new youthful Venus energy here. But today we're feeling it's a little sleepy, and this moon really wants to connect. It's getting a little bit of a connection with the sun, but other than that, it's going to square Jupiter later in the day. And then, it will square Uranus. So, it's we don't want to overdo things. We don't want to, overindulge, especially. We want to kind of be methodical, but don't be afraid to really take charge today. I think this moon is kind of lighting the fire with the sun today. I think with Jupiter and the moon kind of, making a hard aspect to each other, it's we just don't want to overindulge in things and overshoot things. We don't want to get caught up in, our opinions or being so opinionated or being too fixed and stubborn and stuck in our opinions. I think today with this moon in Aquarius making this nice sextile to the sun, it's and while squaring Jupiter, it's our opinions and our beliefs and our ideas about the world can be really challenged, and I think things are getting very opinionated right now. And, with Mercury and Aries, it's just we're getting so many different perspectives right now. And I think this moon in Aquarius is really reminding us, we all have our different opinions and our different perspectives, and it's okay. It's and that's how we want to really connect with one another today, is embracing the uniqueness of our own ideas and our own values and our own beliefs, when it comes to this moon and Jupiter making a hard aspect, and I think with Uranus dispositing the moon today and it will square, there could definitely be some difficulty when it comes to, where your beliefs and your ideas are not willing to change. So I think today's one of these days, especially with the sun conjunct the North Node, which is a big deal. Before this eclipse, before this solar eclipse in Aries, the sun is conjuncting the North Node today exactly. So a lot of karmic stuff can come up. A lot of karmic conversations can be had, and it can get intense. It can get aggressive. And when it comes to these fixed signs, the moon in Aquarius and Jupiter in Taurus and Uranus in Taurus, it's we have to be willing to change. We have to be willing to make adjustments. If we can make adjustments and make changes, we're going to fucking kick some ass today. If we're going to remain stuck and not, come to an agreement and come to a common ground with the people that we're trying to connect with and the groups that we want to connect with. And, I think too, like, this is going to, when it comes to technology today, with Mercury retrograde and then Moon in Aquarius squaring Jupiter and squaring, we can see some technological issues today. I mean, we saw it yesterday when the Moon came into Aquarius. All the social media platforms were fucking up again. It's not just this Mercury retrograde. Uranus and the Moon in Aquarius, and there's some challenge there. But karmically, things can really start to show up today. When it comes to how we really have evolved and focused on our healing with this Chiron North Node. I think with this Moon or the Sun coming together with Chiron, this is bringing up the Sun Chiron too. It's like, where are things still unhealed? Where do things need to be looked over? Where do things need to be addressed? What needs to be talked about with this Mercury retrograding in Aries? And, I think it's a big deal because this is the conversation we're going to be having for the next few weeks here as Mercury's retrograding, because Mercury's going to go direct at this same spot where the Sun and the North Node are conjunct, right? So, karmically, a lot of stuff can come up today. Don't be surprised when it's just like, things pop up, conversations pop up, realizations, insights with this Moon in Aquarius squaring Jupiter and squaring Uranus. Sudden realizations can really show up today and just be like, wow, it could be like, oh, I knew it, or I told you so, or it's like, fuck, thank God I made that adjustment previous, because now this of what's popping up today, if I didn't make that adjustment then, I wouldn't have been able to take this on now or handle this situation now. And realizing how those dynamics play out and how those connections of like choices, that you make, lead to a certain place. And then when you get to that place, it's like, oh, now I understand why I did that. This is very Sun North Node. Everything is karmic. Everything is fated today. We could definitely see a lot of interesting conversations come up, and it could be healing, The Sun's about to conjunct the North Node, but also some wounds that aren't quite healed that, where the Band-Aid can kind of come off a little bit more, It's like just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. When this Mercury gets to 15 degrees when it goes direct, then we can start to really understand what it really is logically. Things aren't necessarily rational and logical right now. This Moon in Aquarius wants to be rational and logical. It's very difficult when it squares Jupiter like this and squares Uranus. Like, it's kind of hard. And we still have Venus, the last degree of Pisces, Mars, Saturn in Pisces, and Mercury in Aries, retrograde, the Sun. I mean, we're not in the most rational place right now, right? We're in a very highly intense, intuitive, spiritual, high frequency place. So we don't want to waste our time right now trying to fixate and understand what they are. We just have to let things play out and feel them and understand, why things are playing out on an intuitive level and how, when the synchronicities occur, and this is Sun North Node, a lot of synchronicities can pop up today, in a very powerful way, and really it could just be a reflection of yourself, not really having to do with the outside world. I mean, this is Aries, but this is kind of giving you the insights of, what this eclipse is going to trigger for you and how things are going to shift and how things are going to change and how far you've come, right? That's kind of what I'm feeling with this solar eclipse building up here. It's like, wow, like this is how far we've come. This is how far I've come. Now I understand why it had to be that way. This Sun North Node conjunction is very much that kind of vibe where it's like, now I'm starting to karmically understand how things got to this certain point, and it all makes sense. It's all starting to make sense, with this eclipse and with Mercury retrograde across this degree, where the Sun North Node is conjunct and pretty much where the Chiron and the North Node met back in February. It was at 16 degrees, but still it's the same area. Now we're starting to put the pieces together, but not fully, and not necessarily in the most rational, logical way. We can feel it. We're starting to understand it. Things are popping up. We're sensitive to our environment and our surroundings. Once Venus comes into Aries, and when Aries does go direct on the 26th and 27th, we'll begin to really be able to rationalize it in our minds in a very logical way. With this moon squaring Jupiter in Taurus and Jupiter in Uranus, we can see some technological issues, maybe in a very big way, maybe globally, who knows? Definitely, the social media platforms have been screwing up big time, even leading up to the Mercury retrograde. So we can see more of that today. We just don't want to get fixed in, being unwilling to change. So today's a day where we could definitely be triggered into, this need to really make some adjustments and make some changes. And I think, small adjustments are always good. And with Mercury retrograde, it's all about making small adjustments. It's not about making a big move in your entire life, right? This is just, you make one little thing, change one little thing in your environment. It can change your whole mood. It can shift your whole day, right? So today's a dynamic day. Today's a very karmic day, a very fated day, a very synchronistic day, especially still coming off this Venus-Neptune conjunction. I'm still in it, right? When Venus comes into Aries, the lights will turn back on, and we can get through the clouds here. It was fun. It was great. And I think with that Venus-Neptune conjunction and with Mars and Saturn close together, and that moon in Capricorn making that sextile, a lot of what we experienced over the past few days is really setting the tone long term. And it's so subconscious that we may not even realize it. And down the road, especially when the North Node comes into Pisces, we might understand what it was really all about. Which we got a ways away for that. That'll be 2025 when the North Node will be at that degree that Venus and the North Node met. So we have the Three of Cups today. So we could celebrate. We can really celebrate. Today is a win. Today is a win. The Sun North Node is bringing up a lot of karmic stuff and a lot of reminding us of wow, the hard work that we've done and the effort that we have put in is starting to show up, especially with Jupiter and Uranus getting so close together, and with Venus and Neptune, making a long-term commitment. And this goes also back to the Venus-Saturn conjunction. And now Mars is there too. It's like these long-term commitments and relationships, that maybe we've had for years now, or maybe that we're starting to make, and new people that we are willing to make, long-term connections with that really are going to impact our lives in the future. It's like we could celebrate that, and we could celebrate, the effort that we've put in, especially with Chiron, and focusing on healing ourselves and not being so caught up in, all the relationship nonsense and just other people's stuff and the codependent stuff. I think if you've been making big adjustments outside of that area, today is a big win, and we can really celebrate those wins, and Aries wants to win. Aries fucking wants to win always. So, don't be afraid to pat yourself on the back today. I think it, especially with the things that karmically start to show up and the synchronicities that start to show up and remind you that you are on the right path and that you're on the right track. So you have to look out for that stuff today with the Sun North Node making its conjunction today before the eclipse, going through eclipse cycles and nodal cycles like this, and planets aspecting the nodes, especially personal planets, the Sun, the Moon, Venus, Mercury, and Mars. When, personal planets aspect the nodes like this, it's all karmic, it's all fated, especially going through very powerful eclipses like this. So I would celebrate those big wins. So don't forget, I got the Jupiter-Uranus reading sale on my website. Go to my website. If you're new here, subscribe to my channel. All the links to all my social media platforms are in the description of this video, along with my booking website. Leave a comment, like this video, share this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday. And I will see you on Friday. Peace out.